All right, let's get right into it. We're going to take a close look at what the Gospel of John presents as maybe the most important week in history, the first 7 days of Jesus' public ministry. And what's so wild is how it's all laid out, step by step, to reveal who he is, start a movement, and, well, change everything. So it really makes you stop and think, right? How does something that massive even get started? I mean, a movement that's going to reshape the world for thousands of years. Where does that begin? It's a huge question. Well, the answer we get from this text is pretty unexpected. It doesn't kick off with a huge army or some grand political strategy. Nope. It starts with something much simpler and way more powerful. Just one single radical statement from a voice out in the middle of nowhere. And that's where it all kicks off. Jesus has just come back from 40 days out in the desert. He walks up to John the Baptist, and John says something that, for anyone listening at the time, would have been a total shock. This right here is the sentence that ignites the whole thing. Behold the Lamb of God. Now that's not just some nice poetic nickname. Think about it. For anyone there, that phrase would have instantly triggered centuries of history. The Passover lamb, all the sacrifices at the temple. According to the source, John is basically giving a mission statement, completely redefining what everyone thought the Messiah was supposed to do. And this is where you see the real clash of expectations. Everyone was waiting for a warrior king, a lion who would come in, crush the Romans, and set up a physical kingdom. But John points to Jesus and says, "You're all looking for the wrong thing. He's not a lion of war. He's a lamb of sacrifice." This just turned everything completely upside down. But then John adds this other cryptic layer. He says that even though Jesus came after him, he was before me. And the source material really digs into this, saying it's not just some clever phrase. It's a direct claim that Jesus is eternal, that he existed before time. The thinking here is that for the sacrifice to be for the whole world, it couldn't just be any person. It had to be someone timeless. So, in one sentence, John nails down both Jesus' mission and his divine identity. A declaration that radical can't just hang in the air. It demands a response. And it gets one, immediately. John's words set off this incredible chain reaction. And just like that, the first tiny cell of this new movement is born. And just look at how it happens. It's amazing. John points Jesus out, and two of his own guys just leave him to follow Jesus. One of them, Andrew, is so blown away that the very first thing he does is run to find his brother, Simon. The source we're looking at calls this the power of individual ministry. It's not a big campaign, it's just one person so impacted that they have to go tell someone else. And get this. This is what Andrew says to Simon. "We have found the Messiah?" Can you just imagine the sheer power of those words? It's not, "I think we found him." It's a done deal. Absolute certainty, all from one short encounter. That's the energy that's lighting the fuse. Okay, so now they've got this little crew and they don't stay put. They immediately leave the area and start heading north back to their home turf in Galilee. And as they walk, the momentum just keeps building. And when you look at the timeline of this week, what's amazing is that it's not just a random collection of stories. According to the source, the Gospel of John lays it all out with this incredible precision. You can literally track it day by day, watching the revelation of who Jesus is grow clearer and clearer, all leading up to his first big public sign. So, while they're on the road, Jesus calls another guy, Philip. And just like Andrew, what's the first thing Philip does? He goes to find his friend, a man named Nathanael. But Nathanael, let's just say he's not buying it at all. And this moment right here is a perfect example of what happens when human doubt meets divine insight. Nathanael's first reaction is just pure sarcasm, right? Nazareth, can anything good come from that town? But then Jesus says he saw Nathanael under a fig tree before Philip even got to him. And that one moment of supernatural knowledge just shatters his skepticism. He goes from total cynic to, "You are the Son of God," in, 5 seconds flat. So the group, now 5 strong, finally arrives in Galilee. And they end up at a wedding in a little town called Cana. And it's here, on day 6, that all the testimony and all the talk is about to get backed up by a serious display of power. Now pay attention to this detail because it is a big one. The scene is dominated by these 6 huge stone jars. And these weren't for drinking water. They were used specifically for Jewish ceremonial cleansing rituals. This detail is absolutely key. So you gotta understand what this water meant. It was a symbol of the old way of doing things, an entire religious system based on external rituals to become clean. It was good, but as the source explains it, it was also incomplete, limited. And this is where Jesus just blows the doors off the whole thing. He takes the literal symbol of that old ritual-based system, the water of purification, and he transforms it into wine, a symbol of joy, of celebration, of a new and abundant life. He isn't just saving a wedding party. He's making a massive statement. So this wasn't just some magic trick, you see. It had so many layers. First off, it was the first time he really showed his glory in public. It was also an act of pure creation, which had to be mind-blowing for his brand new disciples, completely solidifying their faith. And because he did it at a wedding, the source explains it as a profound blessing on the institution of marriage itself. But there's this one fascinating, mysterious detail. When his mother first points out the wine problem, Jesus tells her, "My hour has not yet come." The source makes a really powerful point here. Every time Jesus talks about his hour, he's talking about one thing, the cross. So even here, at this joyous celebration, this very first sign is already pointing toward his ultimate final act of sacrifice. And that really leaves us with something to chew on. If this first sign was an act of creation, turning the water of the old system into the wine of the new, how is that also a preview, a hint of his ultimate purpose, which wasn't just to transform, but to completely recreate us through his death and resurrection? It shows us that, in a way, the end was woven into the very beginning.